Okay. So we got the circle. We know the entire circle starts has 360 degrees. Half the circle would just be 180. AKA over here on the negative x-axis, that's 180 degrees from start to finish. So the reason why I mentioned this is because when we go back here and we're trying to figure out the measure of angle, the measure of the blue theta, well, that would be whatever 180 minus that 36.89 would be. That's what that angle going this way would measure. Yeah. All right. So that's why for the blue angle theta, I can think of it in terms of the red angle theta, but technically it's not. It's a rotation that's over 100 degree, or that's over 90 degrees. So like that's how I can draw the triangle, and that's how I can still have kind of the same ratios as the red reference angle theta, but with just a little modification because we know that it's not the exact same thing. Okay, so if that's what I did with the blue angle, if I'm talking about the yellow angle, well, I'm trying to go from here, oops, all the way over here. So I'm covering this much. All right, so for that yellow angle, well, I'm already covering 180 degrees because I'm covering half the entire circle, and then on top of it, I'm tacking on the theta degrees. So this one would be 180 plus 36.89. All right. So for the green angle theta, well, I'm so close to completing the circle. If I start here and go all the way here, it's like I'm almost completed the entire circle, right? I'm just off by theta degrees. So if I think about it that way, I know that one would be 360 minus that reference angle I have of 36.89 degrees. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and do the adding and subtracting because, one, they're decimals and I don't feel like doing that on screen right now. If you need to, you can do it yourself to verify your answers, right? And also, the 36.89 is just a approximation. So it's not like theta is not exactly that angle measure, right? So that's how I use the reference angle. That's why it's so important that if I understand how to take the angle in the first picture and what to really do with that angle measure to help me get the other ones that would produce like the same sine, the same cosine, or even the same tangent, that's super useful. So I can actually get these angles and realize, well, as long as I know what's in the first quadrant, I can kind of figure out what's in the rest of them, right? So what you should do is consider, how did the rules for the first quadrant, right? The ratios, the sine, cosine, tangent. How did these values here show up in the other quadrants, right? So how did we change the red ratios to create the blue ones? How did we change the red ratios to create the yellows? How did we change the red ratios to create the green ones, right? Will that always be true, or are there certain cases where that may not hold up? Consider that as you keep learning, because there are a bunch of patterns and it's important that you understand what they are and you make sense of them so you can remember them better.